When I first began to understand money, I believed it was complicated, a secret language reserved for bankers, brokers, and the lucky few who got it. I thought wealth came from chasing the next big thing, working harder, earning more. But life, as it often does, had a different lesson to teach me. And it came in the form of a book, The Simple Path to Wealth, by J.L. Collins. This book isn't just about money. It's about freedom, the kind of quiet freedom that lets you wake up one morning and realize you no longer owe your life to a paycheck. It's the story of learning that wealth is not about having everything you want, but about needing less than you think. Collins wrote this book for his daughter, a collection of letters meant to guide her toward a life free of financial stress. But in truth, it feels like he wrote it for all of us. He starts with something simple, yet powerful. Money is not the goal. Freedom is. Because what most people really want isn't money, it's choice. The choice to spend your time how you wish, to do meaningful work, and to never feel trapped by debt or fear. I remember Collins telling the story of his daughter asking one day, "Dad, do you have to go to work tomorrow?" And that small question hit him deeply. Because true wealth, he realized, means being able to say, "No, I don't have to." That's when he decided to teach her and us the path to that freedom. But before we can build wealth, we must confront its opposite, debt. He calls it a financial cancer. It eats away at your income, your energy, and your peace of mind. He tells the story of a young man who bought a new car the moment he got his first real job. At first, it felt like success, but soon the monthly payments chained him to his desk. He wasn't working for his dreams, he was working for the car. Collins' advice is brutally honest. Avoid debt whenever you can, because every dollar you owe is a tiny piece of your freedom sold away. Once you stop the bleeding, you can begin to grow, and that growth begins with saving. Not because saving is glamorous, but because it's the first act of independence. Every dollar you save becomes a tiny soldier fighting for your freedom. When you spend, your money is gone forever. When you save, it starts working for you. Collins says it simply. Spend less than you earn, invest the rest. Avoid debt. It's not a secret, it's a discipline. In his 20s, he didn't earn much, but he saved aggressively. Those savings later bought him the one thing money can't usually buy: time. Then comes the real magic, the quiet power of compound interest. He compares it to planting a tree. At first, the growth is invisible, but after years of nurturing, it bears fruit, and then seeds, and those seeds grow into more trees. It's exponential. He gives an example. If you invest $10,000 and let it grow at 7% annually, in 40 years, it becomes nearly $150,000 without lifting a finger. That's the power of patience. Your money making money, and the money that money makes making even more. He often repeats this line: the greatest wealth builder is time in the market, not timing the market. That's why Collins advocates what he calls the simple path. Forget trying to beat the market. Own the market instead. He encourages investing in low-cost index funds, like the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund, VTSAX. Why? Because over time, almost no one, not even professionals, can consistently outperform the market. So instead of gambling, you buy a small piece of everything. You let capitalism itself work for you. He tells his own story, how during the 2008 financial crash, people around him panicked, sold their investments, and locked in their losses. But he didn't. He kept buying. And when the market recovered, his portfolio not only regained its value, it doubled. That's when he realized wealth isn't built by brilliance, it's built by temperament. Still, he admits it's not easy to watch the market drop. When you see red numbers, your instincts scream to sell. But Collins urges calm. He says to see downturns as discount sales, chances to buy more of the market at a lower price. The market, he says, always goes up over time, not every year, but always eventually. The people who stay calm during storms are the ones who reach the shore. Over time, this calm confidence builds something he calls FU money. It's a cheeky phrase, but what it really means is power, not over others, but over your own life. It's that moment when you've saved enough that no one, no boss, no company, no client, can force you to do something you hate just for money. He shares how early in his career he once had to stay silent in a meeting where unethical decisions were being made because he couldn't afford to lose his job. That day he promised himself he'd never be powerless again. That promise became his mission, to achieve financial independence and teach others to do the same. But then comes the inevitable question, how much is enough? Collins answers with the 4% rule. If your investments can generate 4% of your portfolio each year and cover your living expenses, you've reached financial independence. He gives a simple example. If you spend $40,000 a year, you'll need about $1 million invested to live indefinitely, because 4% of $1 million is $40,000. That's the moment when your money starts working so well that you never have to again, unless you choose to. Collins also warns against noise, the endless chatter of financial media, the experts who predict crashes and booms every week. He says they exist to keep you anxious, not informed. The best investors aren't the ones that react fast, they're the ones that sit still. He advises, tune out the noise, stay invested, trust the process. Because you can't control the markets, but you can control your behavior. Still, he's not blind to the need for balance. As you get older or approach retirement, he suggests slowly shifting some of your investments into bonds, not because they make you rich, but because they let you sleep better. But even then, he says, don't overdo safety, because the biggest risk isn't losing money, it's running out of time to let your money grow. And when it comes to happiness, Collins brings it all home. He says that once you have enough, chasing more brings no real joy. Money's greatest gift is not luxury, it's peace. The peace of knowing your bills are paid, your time is your own, and your mind is quiet. He encourages generosity, helping others, teaching these lessons, and using your wealth to make the world a little kinder. Because the goal isn't to die rich, it's to live free. He writes, money can buy many things, but the greatest thing it buys is freedom. The freedom to stop thinking about money. And that, perhaps, is the simplest truth of all. If I had to sum up his entire philosophy in one breath, it would be this: spend less than you earn, avoid debt, invest in low-cost index funds, stay the course, and one day your money will quietly set you free. That's the simple path to wealth, not glamorous, not fast, but real. Because simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. And so as I close this story, I invite you to think, what does freedom look like for you? Is it waking up without an alarm? Is it traveling where you want, when you want? Or simply having the peace of mind to spend your time with people you love, not people you must please? Whatever your answer is, that's your why. That's your reason to walk the simple path. So if this story moved you, if it helped you see wealth not as a race, but as a journey, then please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to FROMBOOK for more deep storytelling summaries like this one, and share it with someone who might need to hear this message today. Because wealth isn't about numbers on a screen, it's about freedom in your heart. And the path to it is simpler than you think.